Greetings, TheWarOwl greets you, and welcome to the 50th episode of Matchmaking Academy. That's right, and for a very special episode, we have a very special demo sent in from Han Solo Q. He is a legendary Eagle player intent on solo queuing his way to Global Elite. If you haven't seen the latest episode of Solo Queue to Global Elite, check it out, because this is the demo, and this footage was in there.
What a talented, fantastic, handsome player with great hair who just happened to make a little mistake. We can forgive him of that. We can look past this minor blunder.
I'm sorry, I mean, what a noob! So let's figure out what happened on this round. This player's favorite fish is ahi tuna with a jalapeno bacon cream sauce on jasmine rice. There it is, that's favorite fish. So there are a few mistakes that happen here. You'll see them. We'll go into like a third person mode here just to check them out so I can tell you what happened. Because I've examined this and kind of figured out what I did wrong. I said I guess the cat's out of the bag. Now, it is second round. The terrorists are going to be buying just enough to try to do an enter into bomb site A. They haven't even done an armor pistol. They just have a few P250s, flashes, two of them have armor. Notice this smoke right here. When I was playing, I noticed two people are playing the same position right here. I thought I was going to play up close. Somebody else came with me. That's just bad communication. You shouldn't stack up this position like this. He should have been playing an alternate position, or I should have seen the player going there first and been like, all right, I'm going to play somewhere else. So that was my first mistake, was playing a spot that somebody else was playing. We walked into each other a little bit. The other mistake, which wasn't my fault per se, but was the teammate's fault, which is something I should have adapted to, and I made some mistakes about this one. This is stupid smoke. Notice the massive gap right there inside of the smoke. Look at it from the terrorists' perspective. We'll get this guy right here. As you can see, you can actually see through the gap right there. The other thing is, this smoke is really stupid because it allows the terrorists to push into this position, take control of Tetris, take right here. It's an incredibly stupid smoke. The smoke should have been thrown right here, which prevents these players from even trying to enter the site, and we could have just watched the end of that smoke. So as I came down, I was worried that nobody was watching Palace, because I had already had another player here playing this position. I thought, normally I would have watched the smoke. I'm trying to look over the smoke in case they jump up to Tetris, so I could spray him through the smoke if I saw him doing the jump, seeing like the top of his head go up there, which he doesn't go up all the way there. I guess he's already all the way. I just couldn't see it. My player pushes through the smoke, and at this point, what I should have been doing is watching directly at the smoke. We turn off X-ray. I actually had already turned, so in my mind, which you can view inside of the last video, that player was not visible to me. So when I looked up here at Palace, I thought, I'm worried that nobody is watching Palace right now as the T's are entering into the site. Thought I may be able to get a cheeky kill, and knew that my other player was pushing through the smoke. But I didn't know about this player who pushed through the smoke on me. And it all comes down to bad positioning. Now, I'm going to hop in game and talk about that in a little bit more depth on how to play this spot. I'm a counter-terrorist, and I want to hold off bomb site A on Mirage, CT side. Now, this smoke, again, we talked about is stupid because it allows the terrorists to get out. Let's talk a little bit about smokes. A lot of times when you're playing the game, you don't even look at the smokes because you assume that the terrorists are not going to push through it. However, just because the smoke is down does not mean that the terrorists are not going to push through it. The point of a smoke is so that if the terrorists do push through that smoke, as they're coming out the other side, it is pretty much a guaranteed kill on the player who's not in the smoke. Because as you can see here, if you're coming out of a smoke, it's very difficult to see. I'm visible that entire time as I'm moving out of there. So I was standing in a position like this as that smoke was down. Looks like we have to keep re-smoking it. Just a little bit here. This death was very, very, very avoidable. So I already had a player who was like playing this weird position, pushing up here and kind of doing weird stuff. So I kind of assumed, okay, I guess I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to watch at Palace. Now, this position right here, I'm completely visible from if a player pushed through the smoke. So either I needed to keep my crosshair pointed at where the smoke was, in a position where I couldn't get shot from Palace. Another one could have been, actually there's not really many, I guess right on this side here, but you're still a little bit visible from Palace. Maybe even duck right here like this, and just wait and see if anybody pushes through the smoke. Or if I wanted to watch Palace, stand so that I'm not visible through that smoke and aim this way. So if a player came through there, he'd be in vision, and I could quickly move down and shoot him. But I was standing in a position like this, right? And as I moved up, I'm completely visible from the left side. It's all positioning, and it was just bad positioning on my part because it was an abnormal situation. That's not something that normally happens. When you throw a smoke here, you want it to actually block off the entranceway. That was a terrible, terrible example. I meant for it to land right here. Anyway, that's the smoke. if the smoke is down right there, I can just chill right here, and nobody can push. And I have this box for cover as well, if they just do. And I can easily get back behind cover. And I can even wallbang here if anybody's pushing. Get a cheeky headshot, which I've done a few times. This is a nice place to wallbang. Either way, abnormal position with the smoke right here. Had another player kind of jumping around. It wasn't something that I personally was used to, because it's not something that really happens in Counter-Strike when you're playing with everybody in the game knowing how to play the game. And for me, and for you, I guess, as well, when you're playing inside of matchmaking, if you have learned the game a certain way and you've learned how it's supposed to be played, and people are playing it not kind of crazy, which is something you'd expect in matchmaking. People are just kind of doing things because they think that's what they're supposed to do. The player was just like, I guess I'm supposed to smoke out A. Oh, well, now you got to deal with this. Now you got to work around this. And that's something that I think I need to learn inside of the matchmaking games that I've been playing, is when crazy stuff happens, you have to adjust very quickly. There's a lot of chaos going on, and you have to think, all right, smoke down, have to think about that angle, even though the smoke is there. Get behind cover and watch up at Palace. All right? Or move over here, check out this position. Different ways to play it, but instead I just kind of did that. And it was a stupid decision. It got me killed. Tiny little mistake like that can throw you off completely in this game. This is the round directly after. Now notice, I did not have enough money to purchase up an M4. The other team has AK-47s and Tech 9. So I decided to go for the P90, which I thought would have been a good choice at this close range position. Playing the same spot, playing a little bit forward because we don't have a smoke down. I thought, okay, if they try to enter here, I'll be able to get them. If they throw a flash over the top, I can avoid it. I thought that was a flash, but it was a smoke. See the flip of my head a little bit there? Here are the T's getting ready to push into the site. And again, pushed out really far forward. We'll talk about why that may be a bad decision. And I go down. That player pushed very far out before he decided to shoot. I wasn't able to strafe back and get cover in time, and with my P90, was not able to kill that player fast enough. P90 may not have been the best choice. He clearly had the weapon advantage by having an AK-47. Let's look at a professional example. I talked about this in the Road Back to Global episode. A professional example of Taz playing this spot. Notice on the pistol round that Taz does not play up close. He plays up at the ticket booth and creates a very long-range scenario. This makes a lot of sense because the CT starting pistols are so much better at precision and range and doing them one-tap headshots than the Glock. The Glock weapons are much better when you're really close up. And while it didn't work out and Taz went boom, we're just examining how he's playing this and getting an idea of how to play this spot. Now he's playing up close, and notice he creeps forward really far. Checking the angles right here to get a sneaky beaky position. May even try to catch players off guard if they're throwing their smokes. And with this, he's gained a lot of position, and he knows that the T's are not going A main. However, they are, all of them at middle right there. Taz won't have time to flank, and he'll have to fall back to A. So here we are in our first buy round, and notice Taz is going to throw the smoke. This is the smoke we talked about before that blocks off the entire A main entrance. Then, in fact, he doesn't even play this position, but instead has Snacks play it, peeking into Palace. So they've left A pretty exposed here. Smokes are coming into bomb site A. They know that the T's are going to push it. Lovely little flash to get in here. And look, he's going back to his favorite position here. Going to be playing it with Snacks as the T's try to enter. Notice the Terrors have thrown down that smoke that allows them to get in. Actually, I think Snacks threw that smoke down. Well, it didn't work out for Taz. But notice he played it a little bit more passive and stood way back in here, forcing the T's to have to push him. If you play way back in here, then if you have a player at jungle or at stairs, they have a good crossfire with you. So you can see on the map how this crossfire works for the player who is playing underneath here, instead of peeking it forward like this, like I was doing, where you're completely exposed and your teammates can't really help you. As the T's enter right here. So maybe if I played it a little bit more back like this, the Palace player, the only way the Palace player could get me is if he jumped over the side. The only way these players could get me is if they crept forward here, or if they tried to Molotov or flash me out. May have been a better decision to just kind of chill back in here. Another gun around here for Taz. Notice this. He's going to do the same smoke, but he doesn't play it from the same position as he did before, this time playing it from inside of the site. Now in a position like this, if players try to push out and get to Tetris, he's in a great spot to kill them, and players also can't see him if they move out of the Palace. Neo can actually... Neo, what is that avatar? Holy crap, I just noticed that. Sees the smoke for Palace, they run through the smoke and kill him. In a similar manner to that which I did. Neo! What is this? Anyway, I guess the moral of the story as we sit here inside of the smoke and slowly fade to black. Let's slowly fade to black as I say this. The moral of the story, don't always play the position from the exact same place. Mix it up a little bit. Keep the T's guessing. If you play from the same spot every time, it's going to be real easy to deal with you. Thank you folks very much for watching and sticking with us now to 50 episodes, my longest running series. That's insane to me to think back that I've done 50 of these videos. 49 of your guys' demos that we have gone through. 49 unique folks. Thank you all for that. I actually have thousands and thousands of demos that you guys have sent in. I try to pick the best ones that I can make a video on, and it's really been outstanding. And it just thank you guys so much for sticking with my content and for choosing my content as the content you choose to watch. It really means a lot to me, and let's go for 50 more. Get to that big 100. Happy birthday to me. I'm the TheWarOwl, and I still have no closer.